Now, the Nigerian Army has rescued 4 students of the Federal University Gusau, Zamfara State, who were reportedly kidnapped late Saturday. This was made known on Sunday in a statement by Captain Yahya Ibrahim on behalf of the Force Information Officer, Operation Hadarin Daji. Now, the students were abducted in their off-campus hostel in the Sabon Garin Damba area of Gusau, a few kilometers away from the university's permanent site, around 9 p.m. It was reported that several gunshots were fired by the security personnel aimed at scaring away the bandits, but the bandits, succeeded in taking away the 2 students. Meanwhile, Governor Dauda Lawal has reiterated his administration's uncompromising position of not engaging in dialogue with bandits across Zamfara. Of course, joining me to speak more on this development is Dr. Abdullahi Shinkafi, a former vice chairman, Anti-Banditory Committee in Zamfara State. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. All right, now how would you describe the prevailing mode within the state and the affected community following the return of the recently kidnapped students of the university?
We have to salute the professionalism of the gallant military officers who engaged the armed bandit when they kidnapped the student of the Federal University, who was residing in the up campus at Sabon Garin Dampa yesterday night. So we have to salute their gallant response and how they engage them and rescue some of the kidnapped victims. But unfortunately, 2 of the students were adopted, and the kidnappers were able to go with 2 students.
Now, let's talk about this particular development, of course, staying there where we understand that what are the key vulnerabilities within tertiary institutions that need to be urgently addressed to enhance security and prevent similar occurrences like this in the future?
Well, if you look at the situation, despite of insecurity in Nigeria, is at alarming stage. And educational development is a threat. If the armed bandit will now focus on kidnapping students in the higher institution of learning, I think this is a bad omen for the country. So there is need for the government to engage this bandit through military operation, that is kinetic and non-kinetic approach, to curtail the security situation in Nigeria, not only in Zamfara State, in Nigeria, because this armed bandit and other criminal elements have held this country under siege.
All right. Still talking about it, what would you say is the root cause of this banditry that we see? I mean, we've seen over the years the government invest so much money in terms of not just money, but human and capital resources to fight this. But it seems that at some point it seems to come back. So what would you say is the root cause of some of these attacks that we see?
There's a lot of root cause that mitigate armed banditry or the surface of the armed banditry for more than a decade. There is bad governance, poverty, conspiracy of silence, aiding and abetting of armed banditry by some unpatriotic traditional rulers, drug abuse, lack of proper border control, proliferation of smaller and lighter weapons across our land borders and even in the sea, corruption in the military, corruption in the custom, corruption in immigration, corruption in the judiciary, corruption in the police. And there's no proper also laws on the prosecution of banditry related offenses. There should be a death penalty for anything to do with the kidnapping, cattle rustling, any form of terrorism act. But this bandit, if they were arrested by military will hand it then over to the police, and from there will be no proper prosecution investigation. From there, now they will now release the bandit, and the bandit will go back to his hard and continue to attack people ungodly. So there's a lot of root causes of this banditry. Banditry started from cattle rustling to kidnapping to displacement of innocent people, killings.
I want to stay with you. I mean, you've mentioned quite a lot of factors that are responsible for this. But quickly, I mean, if you can just answer this in about 30 seconds or less than a minute. Now, you said connivance between traditional rulers, is also a factor. You also talked about security agencies across board being compromised. What is being done to ensure that these particular factors, because they are key areas, are nipped in the bud? And also, the governor said something about negotiations not being on the table at most times. Do you think in every scenario that should be the blanket approach?
Well, what the governor was trying to say, the governor is playing with the lives of ordinary citizens of the state, and he's trying to play politics with the insecurity in Zamfara state. Even in the nature, even in Islam, is an issue of, in Islam, it is defensive war, not offensive war. So in the principle of Islam is peace and coexistence, not complete or balanced war. So if Islam have give you have agreed with the principle of peace, peaceful coexistence. So in Islam, all the war which were fought by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is defensive war, not offensive war. So what we are trying to say, the governor is too economical with the truth. We have to, what the military should do, they have to go on two ways approach, kinetic and non-kinetic approach. Simultaneously, any bandit who will refuse to surrender his arm and embrace peace, there should be a total military operation against him and his commanders. But when people are ready to also surrender their arms and embrace peace, and you say you have foreclosed room for dialogue, well, what is the commitment even the governor employed in this fight against banditry in Zamfara state?
All right.
The military officers and the security in Zamfara state are undermotivated, are underappreciated by the state government.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi.
There was not any commitment. Look at our neighbors in Katsina state. The government was able to procure operational vehicles.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi, I'm sorry, but
motorcycles, even in Sokoto state, but there was no any commitment on the part of the government. And I want to tell the governor that he's not responsible for deployment of the securities in Zamfara state. All the service chiefs are under control of CNC.
All right, Dr. Shinkafi, thank you so much. I know that there's so much to say on this particular topic, but we sincerely appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll have you on again some other time. Once again, thank you so much.